You're listening to the Life in General podcast with Tom and Jaye. An hour of informative commentary on today's headlines, current events, and what's going on around the world and around the corner. And now, here are your hosts, Tom and Jaye Darden.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Life in General podcast here with Tom and Jaye. We're coming at you here with episode 40. We're going to start this episode off the same way we will every episode, hopefully with no audio issues, and ask the man of the hour how he is down in sunny Ecuador. We can see right now he's repping, he's looking fly. So, hey Dad, how are you?
I'm doing really good, really good. Like I was telling you, I've told you before, it's the rainy season. So it really rained, and we live on a dirt road. You've been here. We live on a dirt road, and it's about, I'd say, half a mile to the highway that's paved. Well, excuse me. So it's rained so bad that we had to call somebody to come get us. We were going to ride our scooters into town, and I was looking at the road, and I was watching people drive by, and they're going up and down, and they're going back and forth and you can hear it going, shh, shh, and I looked out, and it's just water and mud, and there's a place about, I don't know, it's about 100 yards from the road, and it's all the way across from side to side, and it's probably about 12 feet across this way, and it's probably about, I don't know, 8 to 10 inches deep of a dip. Well, it's completely full of water.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's no getting around it.
It's becoming a moat almost.
Yeah, there's no getting around it on either side, and that's like, and we're riding electric, and electric and water don't mix. So I'm like, no, we'll call somebody to come get us and let them wade through the water. So that was pretty interesting today of trying to get around all the puddles and the mud holes and all that. Of course, then when you get out on the highway, you're slinging big clods of mud,
Oh, right. 100%.
Yeah. The sun came out, but, even with its X-ray vision and supersonic, temperatures, it couldn't do damage to that. So, but it's supposed to, for the next 3 weeks, it's supposed to rain. It's the rainy season, so expect it. And then you got 10 months of dry ground, baby.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just dry all the time. And of course, it's kind of weird, right? Because you would think it's dry. And now, granted, it's not really humid, but it's strange because you're off the ocean, right? So it doesn't feel oppressive all the time, I guess.
Right.
And it's pretty interesting. It's a nice little place, but you watch your ass, man. If you're not covered up, the sun, it's going to get you.
Yeah, it's hot, but it's cool at the same time, if that makes sense, because of the breeze blowing in off the ocean and stuff. But the sun,
right. Well,
the sun's hot, but you don't realize it, and then you're cooked. In a few minutes. Right.
So. I mean, well, and that's the deal. If being next to the ocean, we talked about this a long time ago, where it's going to eat everything up. That salt water, that salt in the air, it's just going to tear everything up. And it's pretty nuts.
The chrome on my scooter's just gone to crap, man.
I bet.
And I've looked at several ways to, one of them said you could use a zero grade steel wool and take that rust off stuff, but that's another day. So I mean, we'll see. We'll go from there.
We will see, indeed.
I did find out there's a couple of things that I wanted to mention that are just quick.
Sure.
Election day is Tuesday, November the 8th for the national elections in 2022. So get your ass out there and vote. November the 8th, Tuesday, election day. So get out there and vote. I was going
to say, but that doesn't count voting early, right? You can potentially vote early for this?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that doesn't count voting early.
Gotcha.
And this is something else that I just wanted to run by you. Did you see where the White House, the Biden administration, has approved $30 million for smoking kits?
I saw that, and I then saw the mostly false Snopes report that came out a little bit later. But what I saw on the show that I was watching was a question of, what's the mostly false mean? I mean, now granted, it's not $30 million just specifically for the smoking kits and stuff, but the fact that that was thrown out there, people are losing their minds, right? Because
are they selling Hunter's crack pipes that he used, or what?
The joke that I heard was they are giving away, or they're lending or whatever it is, they're putting forth $30 million for that program, and $29 million of it is going to Hunter and his recreational activities, which of course, I mean, hey, addiction's a real thing, and so can't fault somebody for that, but
I understand.
It is interesting to me. I heard that certain places in California do that already, where they have something that's supposed to be, what do you say, like clean pipes or safe pipes or safe smoking, essentially, where
right.
Especially in the Brovid era, they don't want people passing that sort of stuff around, kind of like how they have a needle exchange, right? So
right.
It seems to make some amount of sense, but it is a little bit interesting to think this is what you're putting your tax dollars towards. Now, granted, $30 million is nothing but a drop in the bucket when you're looking at trillions of dollars per spending bill, right? I mean, that's chump change. However, it's an interesting initiative. However, you might say that could go towards something better / different. I didn't read the entire bill, but that's how it's going to be framed, right? It's going to be framed coming right off the press of, did you see that they're giving away $30 million to help people smoke crack safely?
That's right.
And it's like, that I don't think that's intellectually dishonest completely.
And Hunter's going to be the administrator of the funds, probably.
Yeah. Well, they joked about saying they're going to get the Hunter brand pipe, like that's what it's going to be.
There you go. Speaking of California, did you see where they're trying to clean up all the homeless right quick before the Super Bowl?
I haven't seen that. I'm surprised because that would be tough, honestly, I'm still surprised as well that they're having the Super Bowl in California at all, because I haven't heard of them lifting the restrictions yet. So could you imagine a Super Bowl with only 50% capacity or 75% capacity? That's insane.
No, but I'm not a football guy, so if they want to have it, that's great. But I think I just thought it was funny when I was watching a news feed and they were talking about how fast they're trying to clean up Los Angeles, the homeless area around the stadium and all that kind of stuff to make it look good. And they've even thought about holding back the paychecks of the councilman or alderman or city officials in that area if they don't get that job done before the Super Bowl comes in there and the cameras start rolling and people are visiting from other places. And
let's say I feel you. How do they do that? How do you clean up homeless that quickly? Put them in buses and ship them somewhere else? Like, honestly,
they're putting them up in hotels. They've started paying for hotel rooms to put these people up in hotel rooms, I guess, for the week until
for a certain amount of time before they say, get out of the hotel room service is canceled, get your ass out. That is,
they throw them out the window of the 5th floor, I guess. I don't know, but you've only got 4 days till the Super Bowl. You got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, you got 4 days. So, they clean them up and send them there for a week, and at the Motel 6 or Super 8 or hell, I don't know how they're doing it, but they were. I just thought it was funny because you didn't give a damn about them until somebody was shining a light on your city, going, "Wait, we're going to have worldwide attention on the Super Bowl, and it's in this city, and your city looks like crap because you got all these homeless people and stuff." But speaking of the Super Bowl,
well, hold up. You said you found that surprising.
Well, they don't give a damn about them before.
Right, but that shouldn't surprise you because what do we tout on the Life in General podcast, where it doesn't matter in the slightest about politics or any of that shit until it's in your neighborhood, right? Until it's on your dinner table.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be surprising. I mean, it's something where that would seem completely par for the course. And hilariously enough, like the fact that you are giving these people a taste of, I mean, because most people, I'm saying most, I'm speaking generalities. I would assume most people don't start homeless, right? They don't start out life homeless. That's just not is what I'm assuming. So whether it be mental illness, jobs, that's happening, right? You pour like down in your luck or whatever. You're gonna give people a taste, and then rip it away from them where they have a shower, a presuming a clean bed, unless it's Motel 6. Something like that where
hot meal. Right.
You're right. You're giving them, continental breakfasts, right? Like you're giving them everything that they might need, say for healthcare, for a certain amount of time, and then you're ripping that away again. Yes. And it's something where that seems worse to me than just making them move somewhere else for that time, right? Now, some people will say, well, we're giving them a chance to feel like people again. And it's a scenario where
for a week.
And I say feel like people, I understand people have their scenarios that you're still a person. If you are homeless, technically I am. I'm just kind of hiding out in a room up here in the podcast room, right? Most of the time. So it's something where that, like, I would be more upset than someone saying, get out of here. You bother me. Right. You can come back in a week versus, hey, put me up or put me and whomever up in a place and then have that stripped away. Like that to me, I would, it's like Tommy Lee Jones says to Will Smith in Men in Black, where he's looking at his ex-wife, right? Because he became an agent, became Agent K. And they said, like Will Smith picks it up, hey, that's his ex-wife or whatever. And he says, well, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never have loved at all. And Tommy Lee Jones looks at him and is like, try it. And then he leaves. So.
Okay.
Kind of wild, but yeah.
Speaking of Super Bowl, have you seen who's playing at the halftime show?
I have no honest. Wait. No.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic.
You're kidding, right?
Why?
These are the people that promote violence and teach your kids violence and all that kind of stuff, these rappers, and you're going to put them all on there. They this guy said the National Football League did this for two reasons. One, they want to seem cool, and two, they want to seem woke. I mean, what's wrong with Earth, Wind, and Fire? Or what's wrong with the Doobie Brothers? It's usually been someone that's been around for a long time and has an uplifting message, maybe at the halftime show. Now, Mary J. Blige was on in 2001.
I'm thinking about Eminem singing "White America." It could be one of your kids, "White America," and then just being very much pointed at that. But I mean, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop, Eminem, it's not as though they have bad music. And I remember a time, and this was eons ago, a certain few people who may or may not be on this podcast right now at 2 or 3 in the morning would deliver papers listening to where Shady's back. Like, come on, man. It's wild.
Well, I'm just saying that it's kind of a strange Super Bowl halftime show.
Well, last year they had The Weeknd?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Well, I'm pretty sure I think it was The Weeknd last year. They've had Madonna. They've had Beyonce.
Couldn't tell you who played last year. Just not, or the year before that.
I'm pretty sure. What was it? It was the Buccaneers and. Comment down below who played last year in the Super Bowl and who was the halftime show. Like, comment, and subscribe if you know who it was from last year. All right.
If you know, because we damn sure don't.
That's it. Memory does not serve. I thought it was The Weeknd who did it last year because I'm a big fan of The Weeknd. And I'm also a fan of our proverbial NFL Lord and Savior, Tom Brady. So I think it was him last year, but I'm not sure because I thought he was going to go back to back. Right? Oh, it wasn't it the Chiefs and the Bucks, and then Brady won. And I was told by several people it's just political because they didn't want Tom Brady to win again. It was hilarious.
Well, yeah, and in the same news story about the halftime, they said that there was a black coach that was suing the NFL, claiming they were racist.
Right. I've seen a little bit of that where they were talking about
85% of the players in the NFL are probably black.
There's a very high percentage, but now they're talking about coaches, right? I mean, hey, that is what it is, man.
How can the NFL be racist? Speaking of racist,
well, I was going to say any institution can be racist, right? Like it can be labeled as such very easily, and against any race at this point. I mean, look at Harvard statistics where they're, from what I understand, tell us down below in the comments if we're wrong, where they're not accepting as many Asian students anymore. Because you got to make room for everybody else, right? Like they have the highest score statistically, but it's not happening for everybody. And Harvard is getting sued by, I forget the young man's name, but it was a scenario where he had almost perfect scores. And they're like, nah, not you, bro. And
really,
yeah,
wow,
kind of crazy out there.
Yeah. Speaking of crazy, do you know that in 2020, 46 police officers were killed on the job. In 2021, 73 police officers were killed on the job. That's up 59%. This is the most killed or murdered police officers in 2021 when Joe Biden took over. Then since 1995, when the gang and the crack wars were going on. Since 95, this is the most that in a year.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but we've talked about people, fucking with somebody with a badge and a gun. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Street crime deserves street justice. I mean, I'm all about it. I mean, kill them all and let God sort them out, man. I don't get where these people are coming from doing the stuff they're doing and getting away with it. But they're blaming it on the district attorneys because when they arrest people, they put them into jail or if they go to jail at all.
Right. And then they let them go.
District attorneys are letting them back out with no bail or low bail or whatever. And they're creating a crime again. Well, okay. Take care of it. Golly, man. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. So who'd want to do the job?
Well,
who'd want to do the job anymore if there that much stuff going on out there for police officers?
Well, so I did watch the Netflix documentary, and I don't think you've seen this, but I think, what is it? The 23rd Amendment, I think is what it was. And they specifically talk about what that amendment is. Let me double check to make sure I am correct here. I think I am, but it talks about the 23rd Amendment being actually there for. Is it the 23rd Amendment or is it the 13th Amendment? No. That's not that ain't it.
The 25th Amendment's when they impeach the president. That's the one they use for that shit. So
hold up. The
73 police officers.
So it's the 13th Amendment. My apologies, folks. It's the and I think that's what it was called. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So in the 13th Amendment Netflix special, right, they talk about, and of course, they have some stats, they have some anecdotes, and you have to kind of parse through that, but it's really troubling to think. And we had this conversation before, thinking, okay, death penalty, kind of like 1,000 men, like out of 1,000 people, one person's innocent. Would you still kill them all? And then you promptly said yes, even if one of them was me. You may have been joking, but what can you do? So we talk about slavery being abolished. Yeah, right. We talk about slavery being abolished in the United States, and it is unless you are a convict. And then it is straight up labeled as slavery. Now, oftentimes it comes with a sentence, right, where you're going to be in servitude or, in that sort of bondage there for a hot minute. And it's kind of crazy. And one of the reasons that the district attorneys, not only because they're being elected, so they kind of have to play to people, but looking at it from the standpoint of a guy was convicted of something, or a guy was actually, I think, awaiting trial. And you know this, like you were a prison guard, a jail guard, stuff like that. People will wait for a very long time to have their court date. And oftentimes, if they can't make bail, it's going to be something where they could get killed in the jail while they're awaiting trial because they couldn't make bail. And I think a higher portion of people are ones who can't make bail. And it's something where they are trying to remove those instances of people who, and I know like weed is illegal in certain states and not illegal in others. So it's a scenario, if it's a non-violent crime, yeah, just let them go. The issue is if somebody, let's say, pleads down to, or they just have them on this non-violent thing, but they can't prove the violent thing. Well, then it looks like, oh, well, you're letting off an actual person who's going to harm somebody else. But if they're letting off folks who, let's say that their crime was assault or battery or murder or manslaughter or whatever, yeah, letting those cats off, it seems like it would be kind of difficult to justify, I guess.
Well, in Texas, they changed the law where if you have 3 credible witnesses that saw you commit the crime, you get the death penalty. And they put an express lane in Texas. They're not messing around. You're not going to sit on death row for 20 years in Texas.
Express lane could be something where, let's say you had some enemies and some people got paid off, and you're at the wrong place at the wrong time, and they say, yep, no, that person did it, yep, and then 3 people are just paid off, and then, hey, that's a great way to get rid of somebody that you're not a fan of.
Okay. Well, that's one way of doing it.
Well, I mean, you're taking that a little bit too easy there. It shouldn't go down that easy.
I think we've kind of got off the subject of the police officers that were killed. That many police officers, that's out of control. I mean, that's out of control.
So what do you do to stop it then?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a solution for every aspect or every angle I bring you. I mean, I try, but I'm just stating the facts that, what makes them get up and go to work every day? Shout out to the police officers. Thank you. And the highway patrol and the
I can't believe you don't have your support blue flag up when you're going to specifically talk about.
We did that. I had my support up last week, so I've got my athletic supporter on.
Okay, got it. We have to alternate, but it doesn't apply to the topic, so that's fair.
Right. That's right. This is Ecuador week. Got my soccer shirt on. They were playing in the finals, so I put my soccer
I don't know
shirt on
if it's a sense of duty. A sense of wanting to protect. Some people do it for power. I mean, not everybody's perfect. I totally understand that. I mean, for a long time, that's what I wanted to do. Now, that may have been because you and I watched way too many action movies, right? Where, we're watching Lethal Weapon or Die Hard or something like the Police Academy movies, like something where the real weight of being a police officer wasn't ever there. It was more so you can be the hero, you can catch the bad guy, you can save the day, And it was almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where, like, I'm going to be the man. I'm going to be the knight in shining armor. I'm going to go out and save the princess, the town, the village, the kingdom, whatever. And then in a modern day setting, right? You take out the guy, like the evil bad guy, like the evil Russians or whomever is the villain there in like the Lethal Weapon movies and stuff. Or I mean, Police Academy, it was just kind of like, hey, this is what happens, and then the town's rioting, and then you gotta step it up. So something that was just crazy.
Speaking of evil, it's tax time, and the IRS is wanting to give you a pinch of the money back they took from you all year long. So we did our taxes, and one of the questions that they asked on the tax form was, did Tom and Patricia live in the United States for more than 6 months?
Do they really have that on there?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes. And
they should. They should. They should ask you that.
They also wanted your phone number.
Good.
You don't need my phone number, and you don't need to know if I lived in India. You took my tax money from me. You didn't have a problem taking the federal taxes out of my paycheck in 2021. So why the hell do you care where I live?
Because they're going to need to keep finding you in case you take your money and run.
What do you need to find me for? What do you need to find me for?
In case you're being nefarious.
I paid my taxes, and I did like I was supposed to do. And now you're going to give me a pinch of the money back that you took from me, that you kept all year long and spent somewhere else, just like Social Security. You spent all of that damn money. So everybody that's working now is paying for my Social Security. But you don't need to know if I lived in the United States for more than 6 months. It's none of their damn business.
I think the old saying is, if you have nothing to hide, why don't you just give the information over?
I did. Well, she did. My secretary gave the information over, but I just thought that was an odd question. They never asked that before. We've been using the same tax service for 10 years.
I think what may have happened is they may have like algorithms like every other entity now does, right?
Stay out of my business.
Where they can simply say, hey, you had transactions in the States and it stopped at this date, and then now they're literally on the other hemisphere. What happened? Did you disappear? Is somebody like, did you have to move for some reason? And they can just keep up with that. Like, it's an interesting thought to I mean, just to think, why would they need that info? Well, I mean, for a plethora of reasons, none that you would probably like or many people would like, but it's something that the IRS, they got to know.
Oh, I'm sure. I just thought that was an interesting question. They've never asked it before, and then here they are asking it now. And it's like,
well, they gotta have figured something out.
I worked over a year past my full retirement date. So that didn't give it away, because I could have retired at 66, and I kept working and didn't leave till February of when I was 67. So
there you go.
Well, I just thought she asked me that question, and I said, well, who wants to know? Right. The damn IRS wants to know. But anyway,
I mean, maybe, but that's a little peculiar, but I don't think it's non-tax related. And one of the reasons I would say that is because if you are living in a different place, your set of circumstances have changed drastically. Right? Because if you are living in a different place, they might think, hey, we might need to tax you more or less depending on where you went and based on the standards that are in that place. And also, it's kind of interesting just to say, hey, they've actually asked you that question and you've had the same service, and maybe they are figuring it out. Like maybe when you check the box, I'm retired, they're going to ask you that question automatically, right? I mean, you don't know.
You're right. I don't know, but we filled it out and moved forward. But speaking of government overreach, I saw where they froze the GoFundMe that had $10.1 million in it.
Yeah, I saw that. That was kind of interesting. The more interesting part to me was the Zoom call that they've been playing online where the police of that sector or wherever that they stopped it in one of the areas, the police were actively there saying, okay, we stopped the funds, we froze them. That's good because we know that money's not being put to good use, essentially. And then that's what was happening in this Zoom call with like 12, 13 officials, higher ups in that area. And I just thought that was very strange. Like, why would the police care if that fund was frozen? Now, granted, they may be thinking, hey, that is what is letting these truckers have this convoy. Because as we've touted many a times, if the wheels ain't turning, you ain't earning. Well, these wheels are turning, but they're not doing anything productive. Now, of course, I air quotes out there for all you fans listening on audio only, because their wheels aren't turning to earn. Their wheels are turning for people to learn, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I was straightened out by a lady from Canada that had told me, she said the money was for, because I said, what do you need money for? She said, well, they need money for fuel because they're sitting there for a week or longer. They need money for food because, again, a week. And they need money for hotel rooms to be able to take showers and clean up. And, I didn't think about that, sitting out there for a week in the cold on the highway or a street downtown, wherever they were. They needed that to help the truckers. I saw where the police had intercepted some of their fuel deliveries. See, they had 5-gallon jugs of diesel fuel coming in on skids, and the police intercepted their diesel fuel deliveries so that they would run out of gas and couldn't stay there on their, they'd have to leave and go get fuel.
That's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah. It's turned into a big clusterfuck is what it has. And then Trudeau with his pansy ass, they scurried him off and hid him in the bunker somewhere. Sounds like Biden. They're going to hide him so he doesn't have to get in the middle of it. And nobody's done anything except they're just blocking it off to get your attention about the mandates. And they've done this in several other countries. If you look, they've done this. It's caught on globally in like Finland and Austria and UK. There's several places that the truckers are going, hey, wait, these guys are on to something. So I thought that was interesting that they said, well, there's some shady shit going on with the GoFundMe. Anytime there's money in a large sum of money, there's going to be some shady shit going on. There always is. There always is.
Makes sense.
I would like to have a list of donors to the GoFundMe at $5,000 or more, because I think that would say something about a person or an organization. $5,000 or more. Your $100 here, your $500 there, your $1,000. I don't care about that, but anything $5,000 or more, I'd like to see if anybody put that much in a lump sum to help these people that are, and they're not going to get the help. Well, we found a distribution way to refund these people. So they've refunded about $2 million and then they stopped and they go, well, wait a minute. Well, what do you got to wait on? Just give them their damn money back. But what they did was they moved over to another platform. Did you see this?
I have not, no.
Yeah, they moved over to a Christian crowdfunding platform called GiveSendGo.com. Okay. Well, in less than a week, those people raised $8 million on that site.
Jeez.
How are you going to distribute that money
in
your Christian platform?
Mm-hmm.
$8 million in less than who's giving these people this money?
What I have heard is that,
man?
Well, what I have heard is that people are just kind of lackadaisical with their money anyways. They spend it willy-nilly. I mean, look at it from a perspective of like men in general pay money for porn and it does nothing. Like it just actively does nothing for the person.
Well, wait a minute.
Okay, right. And we're we would pay for that. You get no sexual gratification out of that whatsoever. Yeah. So it's something where, how are they getting this money? I mean, look at OnlyFans, TikTok models, all that stuff where somebody turned a certain direction, 10 grand. Like, it's absolutely asinine what people spend their money on. So there should be no surprise whatsoever that we can give to this, give to that. And then also, if you put a Christian spin on it, I mean, people tithe all the time. Right. So it's something where you got to think, oh, well, maybe we'll just redirect some funds, or since it's on a Christian website, maybe people assume it's for something different than what it actually is, right? But people give their money away all the time for silliness. I mean,
GiveSendGo.com, $8 million already.
Sure.
Somebody help me. I understand where. Wow. You're going to help the truckers. You're going to help the truckers. You don't help the homeless people. If you're going to give money, why don't you help the homeless people? Give it to an organization that's going to help the homeless people, but there are none because they don't. Just like United Way, the president of United Way, this is back in, I don't remember, the 90s. The president of United Way in Nashville was one of the highest paid executives in the city of Nashville.
Oh, I have no doubt.
That's supposed to be a nonprofit organization to help people.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The funniest thing, and a lot, so I don't know if anybody would remember this because Channel 5 did a story on it. When I used to work for G&K Services, I ran I call it Rugs and Rags. It was a uniform company like Aramark or UniFirst. And I did safety mats, and along with uniforms, dust mops and things like that. And I used to service the Feed the Children warehouse downtown Nashville, down on like 2nd or 4th Avenue or 5th Avenue. It was on the other side of the bridge. It wasn't downtown. It was on the other side of the bridge over by the sheriff's office. And Channel 5 did an undercover story about those people stealing the food.
Oh, man, that sucks.
That people would bring in for the Feed the Children and the donations and stuff. They even showed them rolling out a 2-wheeler load of stuff to put it in their car. And I thought, man, I know those people, man. I go there every other Friday or something and give them dust mop heads and safety mats and stuff. And I thought, just people just got, greed, man. Greed. One of the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, they talk not to lose the reverence of the point here, where greed, yes, most definitely is one of the 7 deadly sins. They talk about it in Hellboy 2, the Golden Army, where humans are kind of the bad guy in this situation to a degree. And one of the issues is greed has burnt a hole in the hearts of every human, right? That's why we have greed as one of our built-in mechanisms. I mean, it's something that, if not tempered, it will control you and potentially ruin you. And It's something where nowadays you get online so many instances of shoot your shot and get your money and get out. Right. And it's becoming now where I forget where I read this or heard this, but people are no longer, and this is of course being very general. This is very generalized. People are no longer helping one another. They're simply getting their money and getting out. I've said this before. And it's something where we no longer care about people's problems. We only want enough money of our own to where we don't have to worry about them anymore. I mean, I have a buddy who that's exactly his plan in life. No marriage, no kids, no nothing. Just, hey, more power to you. Shoot your shot, do your thing. But it just doesn't seem like a fulfilling life in the end is going to amount to that, because you're going to die with nothing and die alone. And hey, I get it. It happens. But I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And people just got to wake up to that sort of thing, because the further and further we distance ourselves from each other, like, the worse off we're going to be. And then you have people like institutions right now saying, be independent, care about nobody, don't worry about them, blah, blah, blah. Just think about yourself. And it's not it doesn't seem like the most advantageous way to go. Because when people are down and out on their luck, because it will happen to most people eventually, you're not going to have anybody to turn to. And that's going to suck.
Right. You're right. Well, I've said it more than once, and it's a general phrase. It's not, this doesn't have anything to do with man, woman, them, it, shit, whatever. It's every man for himself. Now it's every person for themselves, I guess, is the way you have to say it nowadays to be politically correct. The Life in General podcast does not condone. Yeah. So, it's just how it is. I'm going to get mine, and if you get yours, good. If you don't, tough luck. So,
I was having a conversation with one of my buddies, and they were like kind of piggybacking off of that. We were having a conversation, and they're a pretty hard worker, and they want people to like get the work done. I don't care what it takes. Be strong, be working, yada, yada. They were complaining that the newer / younger people were in hallways and stuff, taking care of their personal business on the phone, whatever, not doing what they should be. And I said a very triggering word. And I said, well, if you hire snowflakes, you're going to get snowflakes. And this person immediately snapped back with, people who oftentimes call others snowflakes are a bigger snowflake themselves. And I said, hold up. Do you think I'm a snowflake? And they said, no, I don't. And then we went back and forth for a couple of minutes. And I said, let's reframe the conversation real quick. What would you call them? And they said, I would call them weak. Okay, if you hire weak people, you're going to get weak people. And to what was hilarious is their words were even worse than snowflake, somebody who's just maybe sensitive.
Right.
And they said, oh, these people are weak. And I think to myself, to me, that's a greater insult, that you're a weak individual, because that means a whole bunch of different things rather than what a snowflake is. And it is humorous that the vernacular or the nomenclature triggered this person instantaneously versus them having the worst opinion. And they were so just like, and just went crazy. And I'm like, you think worse of your peers than I do, but you were harsher on my opinion than you are your own. So I thought that was absolutely wild.
If they don't want them taking care of business in the hallway, then have them dump their phone when they come in the door. Put a box or a basket up there and have them dump their phone in there and tell them they can use it on break or something.
This isn't exactly the environment where you don't want your phone around.
Okay. Well, then people are going to be on their phones.
Correct.
There's nothing he can do about it. So.
That is correct. But I just thought that was very, very interesting to see. The spin you put on something will trigger people instantaneously, or they will immediately go to something else. And it's something where it's all about your mindset, right? I was told something where looking at working at a certain place, and somebody said, why would you want to subjugate your friend to this? And I had a thought, oh, well, that was very nice of the other person. As opposed to immediately going to a mindset of like, oh, they just don't want me working with my buddy, right? Two sides, like the dichotomy of the mind there. You have two sides of that coin. Which one are you going to give into? Your life's going to be better if you go with the positive assuming positive intent route. Like, you're just going to feel better about it. You're going to go about your day, never think about it again, and think, oh, that was really nice. This is nice. As opposed to, and just get all uppity and mad and stuff. So.
That's correct. That is correct.
I don't know. It was kind of wild. But, and speaking of work, your boy's back in the office for a hot minute, training some new people and stuff. And I was in a meeting today, and I went like bananas because I haven't been around a lot of people in a hot minute. And
2 years.
Yeah. And I was just spouting off like I haven't talked to anybody but a wall in 6 months. And, people are laughing and we're cutting up and stuff. And and somebody told me, I'm so happy that you're back in here, like in this meeting in the context, because we're laughing and cutting up and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not, or like, what is it? It's what Rorschach says in The Watchmen, where he's like, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. It's sort of a scenario where they don't know what they enjoy just yet, because it's only been a couple days. We got a while to go before I peace out again back to the pasture. So
that's cool.
It's different, and they're doing. This is day 3 of working in the office, and on day 3, there's already construction on the road in which I take to get into the office every day, and I just thought, yeah, we're just gonna drive right on home. We'll see you guys later, in like next year or something like that. So
see you when I see you. Yeah.
It was something else, to be sure. Now, granted, it is what it is, but I just thought, okay, cool. Now, granted, of course, once it's cleaned up and ready to go and the construction's over, it'll be very nice and everything. But taking 5 lanes or 3 lanes down to 1/2, not good bedfellows, man. You're not getting to work on time. They're stifling you and whatnot, and like it's more dangerous because people are more uppity. They're more prone to
me first. It's all about me.
They're more prone to irrational decisions, and I mean, being in a car, man, that changes your personality straight up, because normally people, well, I don't know if they still are anymore, but normally if you were out and about, you're going to watch what you say, because you might get popped in the face. In a car, you're in a tank, and then you're like, I don't care as much, because my tank's going to run into their tank and it's not going to matter, and then they're going to pay me insurance and blah blah blah. So
right. That's one of the things they did today, starting the 11th, which I think is Friday. You don't have to have the PCRC test or the antigen test. You don't have to have those anymore.
Okay. To do what?
To get into Ecuador.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
So you don't have to have those negative tests to get into Ecuador. Now, you still got to be vaccinated, because they're going to look at your QR. What do they call those things?
QR code.
QR code, and check it. They're going to scan that, but you don't have to you don't have to get the test.
So,
the negative test is what
said, but at that point, they're not letting anybody who's not vaccinated into the country. So it's
that's correct. That's correct. Yeah. So, and another thing that I found interesting was a guy was telling me about Carnival. Bo was telling me about Carnival. Carnival is like a Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, big carnival rolled into one. And he said, this little town of Playas of 50,000 people or 45,000 people, for those 4 days, goes to 200,000 people. He said, you've never seen anything like it. And he said, and it's all about being wet. And I said, excuse me? And he said, oh, yeah.
Right.
They're selling, they've
moisture.
got big displays in the commissary up with the super soakers that you played with when you were kids. String, the can of funny string.
Silly string, sure.
Yeah, cans and cans and cans of string.
There you go.
And then they sell little bitty baggies of powdered paint. So they get you wet.
Right, and then they throw paint on you. Right.
Throw paint. No, don't throw paint on me. I didn't come down here to the beach to have paint thrown on me. He goes, then don't go to the beach.
Yeah, get out the beach.
You're going to get some paint thrown on your ass. Because he goes, it's all about drinking and partying and being wet and being painted. And everybody has a freaking blast. He said for 4 days. It goes Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And it goes I guess it's February. The last weekend in February is when they start it. Yeah. So it looks like it's going to go 2 days in February and 2 days in March.
Nice.
But he said you hadn't seen anything. The band has a gig at Napraya, which is a restaurant / bar in downtown Playas. They've got a gig that Sunday. So, yeah. And he said the beach and the people, 200,000 people, he said, come into this city for Carnival. And I was like, oh my God, I need to get groceries and not leave the house for 4 days.
Yeah.
And he said, it's something to see. It really is something to see. So I'm like, okay, cool. We'll see what happens.
I have no doubt. That sounds pretty intense.
Put your bathing suit on and your flip flops and your goggles, and you go into town. I guess.
There you go. Man. Yeah.
I guess. And I can't imagine riding a scooter down there and having people throwing shit at you. Yeah. I can't imagine doing that.
Oh, so yeah.
We might have to have somebody come pick us up and drive us into the fray or the mayhem. But he said, he said, you've never seen anything like it, man. He said, it goes from 45 or 50,000 people normally up to 200,000 every year. Same thing. He said, now last year was kind of a bust because of the Brovad bullshit. He said, but if you take a look at the beaches now and how they've reopened and how everybody's coming back out and they get full and all that kind of stuff, he said, I can only imagine that they've been waiting all this time to get back in there for the celebration. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
okay, man, cool.
Hey, that's see. It, man.
Yeah, when in Rome, throw paint,
exactly.
Throw paint like the Romans do. I guess I don't know.
That's something else. Well, I mean, there's definitely something to say about large groups of people gathering and whatnot, but they don't think that's a super spreader event.
I don't know, but you know what? The GoPro is going to be up and rolling that day for sure.
I bet
long before that, but still,
sure.
Yeah, it's going to be up and rolling on that adventure there. So when we go to walk down the beach or walk down the Malecon where the beach is, we'll have the camera go on and going. So
like you turn it on, strap up, have it on your hat, whatever, and within the first 10 seconds, bleh, just paints on the lens.
I would keep it in the plastic container for going underwater.
Sure.
Just to protect the camera.
Right. But the thing is, it's going to block the lens if they throw paint on you, right? Because it's
Sure they are. But then I can just wash it off. It's all watercolors and stuff.
Right. Well, I was going to say, if you forget, right, or don't think it landed on you, and then you go around for an hour thinking, oh, we probably got some great footage, and then you look at the camera and it's just a big splat of paint,
Might be. I'll probably wear it around my neck. Had like a body cam.
There you go. I was going to say, we got
that way.
Yeah, we got the setup kit where you basically can have it any way attached to anything and yada yada. So
yeah, that's going to be one of the goals is to roll with the camera.
That'd be cool.
Carnival.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
You can get out there and become a little cameraman, and people will be going nuts and be pointing things out and all that. So it'd be pretty sweet.
Be pretty interesting to see. He said they don't have a parade. Now they have bands along the beach at different spots that are playing music and stuff. Because he said their band played there one year, out on the beach.
Yeah, that's cool.
I guess you get with the tourism division, and you tell them who you are, and you book your gig that way or whatever. So, but I don't guess they're doing it this year. So they're going to play at a private venue that Sunday, which it could be jam-packed too. I don't know. There's no telling.
Well, I was going to say, with that amount of people, you would probably assume, it's gonna have some folks there. So.
Oh yeah. So it'll be interesting Be interesting to see how it works.
Well, we can't wait for that that episode after that report, because that'll be something else, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you see 49 subscribers?
I did. Let me check on the subscriber count here, just in case somebody teased us with a 50 and we didn't start the episode out like that. So, got to add an account here. I'll have to check it later, but we got some good stuff happening. So
yes, we do.
Oh,
times they are changing.
Yeah, they most certainly are. You're going to need to look at your phone if you have it next to you, because there's a code that says, "Hey, can this person sign in there?" On that, get some behind the music stuff for you folks out there, behind the scenes, to say, "Hey, is this person valid and whatnot?" So that's something else. How crazy the what do you call it? How crazy the world is, where we can be signed in and do all this and yada yada, and then can be like, oh yeah, by the by, this is cool. So there we go.
Yes, it's me.
GG.
That's what I said. Yes,
yeah,
it's me.
That's what you said. Bunny bread. Word. That's kind of wild, because it went to a different a whole different thing in Chrome. That's kind of crazy. What we got here? Let's look at the channel real quick. What we got? 49 subs. That's it, man. Almost hit 50.
Put on some Eminem or some Snoop Dogg, man.
Yeah, there you go. Support the halftime show of the Super Bowl and stuff, man. Go nuts with it. So
yeah, Bo's got the NFL package, so he asked me did I want to come over and watch it, and I said, well, what channel is it on? And he said, it's on ESPN. And I said, well, I get ESPN.
Oh, cool.
But
there you go.
Yeah, he said, you want to come over and watch it? He goes, it's in Spanish.
Yeah.
He said, we won't have any sound, but we can watch the game. I said, that's cool, man. We can do that.
That's it.
I don't use the sound anyway, because usually your announcers are tainted. They're for one person, one team or the other, and you have to go through all that crap.
I know someone who's very close to me that hates listening to professional announcers, and whenever the Titans would play, the goal was to mute the television and then turn on the old time radio, right? And then so you'd have the actual Titans talk radio doing the game, right, because it would seem like they're a little more fair, but I mean, you're going to be skewed one way or the other. You're going to like a team more regardless. And if you're the underdog or you're not the professional team that people enjoy, well, then people are just going to badmouth you. And it's like, hey, that's all gravy, baby. It's something that people are entitled to their opinions. And even if that's political and they want to push an agenda, like, that's fine. Their jobs are to catch balls, man. Like, who cares?
That's right. That's exactly right. And they get paid a lot of money to do it.
Oh, an insane amount of money. Now, granted, are they peak athletes who may or may not dose or whatever? I don't know. But, like, we hold them in a god-like figure regard. Like the god Apollo, right? Looking at Achilles, not a god, but somebody who was at the zenith of athleticism, right? People who are just out of this world. They're from other planets and stuff, and it's insane. And
I think as you get older, you'll find you don't do that.
Don't do what?
Hold those people in that high of regard or that high of esteem.
I think you may be speaking from personal experience, which isn't exactly going to cover everyone's bases. What do I mean by that is there are definitely some old boys out there who think like these cats are getting out there, they're hustling and they're machines, and they get uppity when their teams lose, and they go even more bananas when their teams win.
Oh, well, yeah, those are the same guys that'll beat your ass in the parking lot for a parking space 2 paces closer to the door, and then when your team scores, they want to bump bellies with you in the arena. Yeah,
right,
I'm out
exactly.
on that bullshit. Yeah, I'm out on that.
I'm out on that.
Yeah. because, you wanted that parking space so bad you were going to beat my ass. But now you want me to be your best friend because we're rooting for the same team. Get out of here with that shit, cornbread. I guess some people change, not everyone, but some people change as they get older and they don't, that's like Patrick Mahomes, 26 years old, makes $40 million a year with a multi-year contract. What does he care if he goes to the Super Bowl? He did it last year. He doesn't care if he goes or not. I mean, so you get a bonus check. It used to be, I don't know what it is now, but you could probably look that up. A bonus, what they get paid bonus for going to the Super Bowl. It was $50,000.
Yeah, I thought it was 30 or 50 grand or something like that.
It's like $50,000 bonus for going.
Sure.
The winner of the Super Bowl, and then the loser got, I don't know, 25 or 20 or something like that. They got like half of what the winners got, and it's like, really? That's a drop in the bucket to a guy that's making, 10 or 12, $30 million a year.
That's fair.
As a pass receiver or a quarterback.
That's fair. Like that. But you got to look at the bigger picture, right? Sponsors, book deals, all sorts of things that people are like, and now coming to you from blah, 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 Patrick Mahomes, 2-time Super Bowl winner. It sounds a lot better than Super Bowl winner to say 2 times or whatever. I mean, that prestige, that esteem, people would lose their minds. And understand this. If I ever won a Super Bowl...
He's doing State Farm commercials, man.
Well,
really?
Hey, they must pay well because him, Aaron Rodgers, they got all sorts of people doing State Farm, man.
What the hell are they doing?
I was at a Christmas party very recently because it was pushed back due to the COVID. And somebody on our lovely group of subs does Farmers. It's not State Farm. And I was like, are you in good hands? And everybody looks at me and is like, that's not the right people. And I was like, what are you going to do? That was hilarious.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they then of course they go on and quote Joe J. Jameson, the dude who's like, we cover a thing or two, or like we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, sort of deal like that. So, and the person he's walking around with balloons, and there's this little girl, and they're like, would you like a balloon? And they say yes. And he's about to hand it to the little girl, and he says, wait a minute, are your parents farmers, people or whatever? Like, yeah. And he goes, okay. And then he actually gives it to her where you're thinking, nope, if not, sorry about your luck.
Wow.
Too good. But hey, those little things that you remember, right?
Oh yeah.
That's one of the best things about the Super Bowl are the ads. One of my favorite ones ever was, it's a Tide commercial, and it's just so random the things that they were doing, like that whole like random abstract thing. Just it really tickles my fancy there a little bit.
It'll be interesting to see what they advertise this year. Who's paying $10 million for a 30-second commercial or whatever?
It's a good question.
60-second commercial, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever the time slots are. So.
Yeah,
but really. They've had some good ones. But yeah, we've hit our hour mark. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about to our lovely viewers out there?
Get your ass out in November and vote. And I'm going to say it all the time. Vote these people out, man. Vote them out because they're no good. They're no good. I don't care who they are. Start over again fresh.
There you go. Start over again fresh. You heard it here, folks. The Life in General podcast does, in fact, condone exercising your constitutional right to vote.
Yes. Fresh.
Hush. Like a Pepsi or a Diet Coke commercial, like just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
I wanted to, there's a hotel across the street, hotel and restaurant, and the Coke man came to deliver. And I couldn't get over there with my camera to take a picture of the back, but they have 25-cent Coca-Colas in returnable bottles. And I thought I need to take a picture of this because it had the words up there in Coke and Sprite, and it had like Fanta or something else. It had like 4 flavors up there.
Very nice.
25 cents, but they're the glass returnable bottles.
Right.
They're like the old 6 ounce used to be, 6.5 ounce, whatever they were. Yeah. I thought, man,
That was the good stuff back in the day, using that cane sugar and stuff. There's no high fructose corn syrup here, folks.
Yep.
So, awesome stuff. Well, hey, go out there and enjoy a refreshing Coke.
Things go better with Coke.
I just have one haphazardly, like, there we go.
Hold on a second. Yeah, things go better with Coke.
Yeah, things go better with Coke. Yeah, it's like it's like twitching. Right. All right. Yeah, we've tipped our hand. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Y'all take care.
See you.